All right, we are recording. Welcome to class. We are officially done with Module 10, Lesson 1, so that we're done with the course arcs and the notebooks for the year. Yay, we're excited. All right. And for the rest of the year, we're going to be working on Everfi, and we're going to be working primarily in the program Financial Literacy. We will do the money moves next week, but this week and next week and stuff like that, we're going to be working in Financial Literacy program within Everfi. Okay, so how class will work again, just really quick, is I'll kind of do intro, first 15, 20 minutes, supporting information, kind of get you started. And then my goal is to give you about 30 minutes in class to really work on those Everfi assignments and get them done. They count for summative grades. So that's has a big impact on your grades. You want to make sure you're getting them done and that you're scoring well. Okay. And we'll refresh on that. And remember, you can redo the Everfi assignments. If you don't do well the first time, you can redo them. This is something I do need to bring to your attention, okay? I posted this in Canvas. I sent an email this morning, and it's on the home page. But I want to bring to your attention end of the year due dates and final exam schedule, okay? Because if you are a senior, which 95% of you are, so if you are a senior and you're graduating, okay, you are closing out a few days earlier than the juniors, the sophomores, and the freshmen. And the reason for that is because we have to get your grades finalized so that they can release your diplomas. Okay, so we have to close things out a little bit earlier, just a couple of days, because we have to get your grades submitted for semester final exam so that the counselors and stuff can make sure that you've met your graduation requirements so that they can officially issue your diplomas before graduation. Okay, so it's important, right? We got to have everything in line. So most of you, you're on track to graduate, but you still have to make sure you pass those second semester courses, right? Government, I believe math and English, right, are required. Or if you have other ones that you're taking, maybe or making up any credits. It's if you want to make sure those are getting done. So they have to verify those grades to make sure you met the requirements before graduation. So make note of this. I'll keep reminding you. All right. But last day for all fourth quarter work. So this will be anything that's still open, that's on that extended due date and stuff. Everything is closing that is still open at that point. So it doesn't mean everything for fourth quarter is open, but anything that's still open, everything closes and must be submitted by Friday the 12th. Okay. By Friday the 12th, midnight. Has to be done. Okay. Because I have to get your fourth quarter grades done. Also, that means you'll be taking your finals just a couple days earlier, okay? So, and this is for all your senior classes, okay? So here's the schedule, all right? And this is posted on the homepage as well. So Friday the 12th, period 1 and 2, you'll take your finals that day for those classes. Whatever you have period 1 for this class, government, you'll take those on Friday the 12th. Then Monday the 15th, you'll take period 3 and 4 finals. Okay, so even if you're in, let's say, a junior class, like maybe let's say you're taking U.S. history or 11th grade English, or I'm just saying, maybe everybody has a different schedule, you would still need to take those classes early following this schedule. So make sure you contact that teacher because they have to get your grades submitted early. Okay, so period 3 and 4 are going to be on Monday the 15th, and then Tuesday the 16th is period 5 and 6. When you take your exams on those days, it counts for your attendance for class, okay? So you want to make sure you have to take, remember you have that 24-hour window, okay? And you got to get those done, all right? So if you are a calendar person like me and you like to put things in your phone, or maybe you have a hard copy calendar, write those down, make sure you don't have things scheduled that day. You have to get your exams done because this is key to graduating because we have to get your grades in. And then the counselors haven't given us the exact time, but on Tuesday the 16th in the afternoon. So you know how like when we do a modified schedule when you're doing your final exams, right? It's usually we're done by like lunchtime. So it's kind of morning, right? You do 1 and 2. Each is usually about 90 minutes or so. The afternoon of Tuesday the 16th. So after you take your period 5 and 6, if you have a period 5 and 6, after you take those exams, there's going to be a meeting with counselors with directions about graduation. Okay, so a more specific meeting. I don't know exactly what they're covering, but it's going to be required for all seniors to come. They're going to talk about checking out, turning in your Chromebook, graduation, just kind of those loose ends as you wrap up. Okay, so just plan on Tuesday the 16th. Don't plan anything during the school day. All right, leave open 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, because you'll have the 2 finals if you have a period 5 and 6, and then sometime that early afternoon before 3 o'clock, you'll have that meeting with the counselors. And I'll have more info as we get closer. Okay, any questions on this? Give me any emoji if you get it. All right, you're like, got it. I hear what you are saying. This is all loud and clear. All right, we got it. Okay. So again, this is in the announcements. I sent an email. I'll continue to go over that as we get closer. I will prepare a final exam study guide. I'll get it to you by end of next week. Okay. I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so I'll get it done like early next week. Okay. So I will get you a study guide at least 2 weeks ahead of time. All right. So don't worry, before, not this weekend, but next weekend, probably middle of next week, I'll have a study guide made for you. Okay. So I'm going to work on that this next week. Okay. So if you're worried about that, I haven't left you high and dry yet. So I will get you a study guide for that. Okay. All right. Awesome. Let's get started then. Today is World Circus Day. I'm telling you, I don't know. I want this person's job. All right. They get to come up with the coolest days and stuff like that. So have you ever been to the circus? Or maybe, I know living in Vegas, we have all those Circus de Soleil shows. Have you ever been to one of those? What was your favorite show, or maybe favorite part if you've ever been? Or which one would you want to go to? When they fall? Like really fall, or like the pretend fall Dream? So I'm afraid I would get, oh, you're joking. Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, I'd probably be like, oh, you know. Okay. Is there any particular act you guys like or show you'd like to see? Anybody? I've seen a couple of them over the years. I've lived in Vegas now since 2007. So 16 years I've lived here. My favorite one, we got to go see it last year for my birthday, was the Michael Jackson Circus Soleil show. Cause I love Michael Jackson music. Like oh my goodness. And they do a hologram of him. It is so cool. It's like eerie. Like I got goosebumps. Like I was like, I swear for like a week after the show, that's all I played in my car. I was like, my kids were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I love it. I've never been to a circus. I feel like they're not around as much anymore. They're kind of a dying breed a little bit. But any of you ever been to the Circus de Soleil shows or want to go to one of them? I've been to a couple, and they're just amazing. I mean, if you ever get an opportunity, I will say take your breath away. Yes, I know they've made some adjustments over the years and this and that. I like the themed ones. So like my dad really likes the Beatles. So of course he liked the Love Circus Day, so if you're into a certain kind of music or something like that, I do think that kind of draws you in, like the theme a little bit. If you ever get a choice, that's why I think I liked Michael Jackson so much. My mom was like super into Michael Jackson when we were growing up. And so we listened to a lot of that. So I just like any of Michael Jackson's music. I'm like a big fan. So no. Okay. Well, if you ever get an opportunity, I have to say, like, even if you don't love the theme of it, it is awe-inspiring. It's like amazing what they can do. I mean, the acrobatics and the things they can do, it is just, you can't help but sit there and have like mad respect. Be like, wow, I am not worthy. I feel like an underachiever when you see what these people can do physically. It's like, cool. Yep. And I can barely go for a mile run. So, it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. All right. We are going to be focusing, like I said, we're starting financial literacy. So there are 4 Everfi assignments that are due this Friday. Okay. There's nothing due tomorrow, but we're going to work on these 4 through the week. So we're going to focus on the banking one today. We're going to work on 2 on Wednesday, and then we're going to work on the 4th one on Thursday. Okay. So I know 4 sounds like a lot of Everfi assignments, but there's nothing technically due tomorrow, and we are going to focus on each one in class and give you time to work on them. So if you're spacing it out and you're staying with me, using your time wisely like you're supposed to, then that can be super helpful. Okay. So it shouldn't, if you wait till Friday, then yes, it's going to be a lot. But if you stay with me, use your class time, use tomorrow, and space it out, then those 4 being due on Friday should be manageable. Okay. So what we're going to be looking at as we look at financial literacy, and we're going to focus specifically on banking today, is what is the purpose of the banking institutes? What's their goal? How do they function? All right. And then how does that impact me as I am a consumer? What do I do with my money? And what is my interaction with the financial institutes? So before I let you go into Everfi, okay, I just want to spend like 5 minutes really quick and talk to you a little bit about what banking is, its purpose, how it functions. And then I'm going to go over some specific instructions because we're starting a new program. We finished Marketplace, right? So we finished that with Keys of Investing and Investment Game. Remember, those were due last week. And so now we're starting a new program. Remember, there's the 3 programs in Everfi. There's Money Market, there's Money Moves, and then there's Financial Literacy. So we're going to be in Financial Literacy this week. Okay, so let's take a look really quick. And the goal is just to understand really quick a little bit about what is the purpose of, how does finance work? What is the purpose of these banks and stuff like that, okay? So a financial institution is a company that engages with businesses and people in money transactions. So they take deposits, they exchange currency, they give out loans. Okay, so like if you ever need to get an auto loan or a home loan or a personal loan or a business loan or something like that, you usually get them through a bank, a financial institute, or something like that. Okay, so what are financial institutions and what are the three primary purposes? So the first primary purpose is to take your deposits, okay, and hold your money. How many of you already have a bank account? Maybe you have a savings account or a checking account. If you don't, then I encourage you to go open one as you graduate and maybe look at, finding a job or maybe a part-time job if you're going to continue with school, or if you're going to go work full-time, you're going to want to have a bank account. Give me any emoji. How many of you already have a bank account? Anybody? So it could be a savings, checking, maybe both. So I encourage you, once you get a job and you start making money regularly, I encourage you actually to have both. Checking accounts are really good for paying your bills, okay? Or if you need to spend money from. So if you're going to use a debit card, you need a checking account. Or if you're going to pay bills, checking account. But I think it's really good to have a savings account because see, what I do is my checks get deposited into my checking account. So I pay my bills out of that. But every time I get a paycheck, then I automatically have a little bit of money put into my savings account. And my savings account is for those rainy day things. So if something breaks on my car, or if I have an unexpected medical bill, or if something comes up I want to do, maybe that's outside the ordinary, or something breaks around my house, like it's nice to have a savings account for those extra things that you never know that are going to happen, right? That aren't within your normal bills. So you kind of leave it there. Maybe you're saving for a vacation. So it can be an emergency fund or for, things that you want. I actually have two separate savings accounts. So I have one for emergencies that I save up for like the things that go wrong. And then I have a separate account for like fun. So like travel or, holidays or things like that. So that I kind of have I'm a very like compartmentalized kind of person. So if you're like me, you can open a couple of accounts and it helps you actually kind of keep your money organized versus if it's all in one account and it's easy to maybe lose track, especially if you're trying to set goals. So the first function is to offer you accounts. So they receive your money and they give you money back out of that when you need it. They also charge interest on loans. So they borrow out money. So they, again, give auto loans, car loans, home mortgages. If you're going to open a business, you get a business loan, a personal loan. You can also earn interest, though, on the money that you keep in the bank. So let's say, for example, that you had $1,000 in a savings account. If you've ever looked at the end of the month at your statement for your checking or your savings account, whatever kind of account you have, there'll be a little thing that says interest earned. Now, you have to keep money in the account in order to earn interest. So if you have money that you keep in there and you stack it up, the more money you have in there, the more interest you earn. But it's a super low interest rate. So it might be something like 0.5% or something like that. So on $1,000, you might get a couple, cents, probably less than $1 in a month that you would earn. But they give you a little bit of interest for keeping your money with them. So which interest rate do you think is probably higher? Do you think the interest rate that businesses charge or that banks charge you on loans, or the interest they give you for keeping money in their account? So anytime you get an auto loan or a mortgage or a personal loan, do you think they're going to charge you more interest on a loan, or do you think they're going to give you more interest on the money that you keep in the account? Which one do you think is higher? Loan or account interest? Which one do you think would be higher? Put it in the chat. What do you think? Just take a guess. Okay, we got one guess for loan. Let's hear a few more guesses. Okay, loan. Let's get 2 or 3 more guesses. Oh, this is good stuff. This is really good stuff for you guys to know. Loan, of course. Okay, you are right. You are all very smart. So the bank is going to charge a lot more interest than they're going to give you back. So for example, on like a car loan, you could be looking at anywhere, the lower the interest rate, the better, right? Because that's less you have to pay. But often they try to give you higher interest rates. So, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, sometimes it can go up to, in the teens. It can be really high. So the better your credit, the lower the interest rate, but they're going to make a lot more money off that. Mortgage rates right now for a home loaner in and around 6%, maybe mid 5s, and stuff. personal loans, you're usually going to pay a higher percent on those. Business loans, okay? The interest they pay you on your account is going to be not even a percent. It'll be 0.5% or 0.25%. I mean, it's super, super low. So if you're thinking, I'm going to just leave my money in the bank and make money, you'll make nothing. You'll never get rich, okay? Even if you got $10,000 in the bank or something, you barely make anything off of that. Yes, so loans, the bank definitely makes more money off of us than we make off of that. So for sure. And that's how the banks make their money. They loan out money and it's the interest that they get back. That's how they make their money. They really don't make money off of us just keeping our money in the bank. They make money off of the loans that they give and the interest that they give. So second of the three, okay? So we have primary banks. So think like Wells Fargo, B of A, US Bank, like just some common banks, okay? Those are some big common banks. Then we have what's called, it's another kind of bank. So it's still a bank, but it's a more specialized kind of bank, and it's called a credit union. So a credit union, it serves just like a bank where they take deposits, they have savings and checking accounts, they give out loans, but not everybody can go to credit unions. So there'll be different kinds of credit unions. So for example, there's a school credit union. So you have to be a school employee in order to use the credit union. Or sometimes there's like military ones. So maybe a certain branch of the military. So you have to be in the Navy, or you have to be retired, or have been in that career field to be a part of that credit union. Another example, there's a Clark County credit union. So you have to be a resident of Clark County to use that. So if you lived in Pahrump, or if you lived in Nye County, a different county, you couldn't bank at that. One of the reasons it's actually good to go with a credit union, especially when you're looking at loans, is they tend to give you a better interest rate on loans. So if you're ever trying to get an auto loan, a personal loan, a car loan, anything like that, a mortgage or something like that, I encourage you to shop around. Don't just go with the first place. Often the big banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, US Bank are going to have higher interest rates than, say, a credit union. So it might be worth it to go join a credit union if you can get a lower interest rate. So maybe Bank of America might be offering you 8% on auto loan, but maybe you could get 6% at the credit union. So it's going to save you some money in that interest. So I encourage you, if you ever find that you have to get a loan for something, try to go to the credit unions. Sometimes it requires you opening an account, keeping a little bit of money there, but it can be worth it if you can get a better interest rate, because you always want the lowest interest rate possible. The third purpose of these banks, okay, is obviously, yes, offering us checking and savings account, a place to keep our money, to take our deposits, to provide us with loans. And they help work in conjunction with the Federal Reserve, okay, with the Federal Reserve, which would be within our US government, okay? The fractional reserve banking, all right, is when only a small portion of deposits to cover potential withdrawals and the rest is given out in loans. So let me break this down for a second, and then we're going to get into Everfi. Basically, the banks take our money that we deposit. So let's say you put $10,000 in the bank. They are actually, so on paper, it looks like you have that $10,000 in the bank, right? But actually what they do is they take a portion of the money that you deposited and they loan it out to somebody else, and they make money off the interest that they loaned. It's not their money they're loaning out, they're actually loaning out other customers' money. This is how banks work. So here's the law, or here's the most current guidelines, okay? Banks are required to keep 10% of the money that is deposited in physical cash. So let's say that I deposit $10,000 into the bank, okay, and I keep it there. It's just sitting in my savings account or something like that. The bank can technically loan out $9,000 of that $10,000. They only have to keep 10%, which would be $1,000. Okay. What they're counting on is that I'm not going to go and withdraw my money. And so while my money just sits there, and on paper, I have my $10,000 there, but what they've done is they have gone and loaned out part of that money, and now they're making interest off the monthly payments. Let's say somebody goes and gets a $9,000 car loan. They're going to loan that out to them and make interest off the money that they loaned out. But that money they loaned out is actually other people's money. Isn't that interesting? So when you look back at the 1920s, the Great Depression, what caused it was this. Banks were literally loaning out all the money that was being deposited. They didn't keep enough money, like physical money. So when people would come to withdraw their money, they literally ran out of money. This is what causes banks sometimes to collapse. If you remember about a month ago, anybody remember that California bank that collapsed, Silicon Valley one that collapsed and people were freaking out? It's exactly that. They loaned out more money than they should have. And so when people came to withdraw their money, they didn't have enough to cover it. So this is why when you hear a bank is FDIC backed, if you've ever heard that, you always want to pick a bank that is FDIC backed. And what that means is that the federal government will cover up to $250,000 that you deposit in a bank. So if you hit it big someday, if you're making the big bucks, okay, don't ever put more than $250,000 in any one bank. Make sure that you put them in different banks, because if that bank collapses, like the Silicon Valley one that happened here about a month ago, then the federal government will guarantee or pay you back your $250,000, but not over that. So if you deposited $300,000 in that bank and that bank collapsed, then they would only pay you back $250,000. That other $50,000, you'd be out. So that's why big corporations or people that have a lot of money, they have money in a lot of different banks because they want to make sure it's covered. So banks' jobs, yes, are to hold our money, but banks' jobs are actually to take our money and loan it out to other people. And that's how they make money. They make money off the interests of their customers' money. Interesting, huh? All right, let's jump back over here. So we are going to be in Everfi, okay? And we're going to be in the financial literacy course. So what I want you to do is go ahead and get your Clever open. You're going to click on the Everfi button, and we're going to open up, and I'm going to have you go into your financial literacy course. So remember, there's 3 different ones. There's Money Move. I know your tiles look a little different than mine, okay? So your tiles look a little different, but you're going into the financial literacy course. That's the one we're going to be in, okay? And you're going to click on the course, and once you're in there, this is what the screen should look like, okay? So remember, in Marketplace, there were different houses or different buildings that you selected. In this one, there's going to be, these are the different lessons within that. So once you're on this page, give me any emoji. Let me know that you're on this page. And then I want to go over this really quick before you start. So give me any emoji. Let me know that you have this open, that you're on this page. So you're in Everfi and you opened up financial literacy. This is where we're going to be working all week. So the 4 assignments that are due this week: budgeting, taxes, employment and taxes, banking, and tax simulation, they're all in the financial literacy course. So this whole week, anything that's due is due from the financial literacy course. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do once you're on this page, okay, we are going to be working today in the banking basics. So we're doing the blue one. The other 3 we're going to do this week are budgeting, employment, and tax simulation. So these 4 right here, these first 4, that's what we're going to work on by Friday. But today I want you to work on the banking basics, okay? Now, before you get started, really quick, this is super important. I know I've been over this a bunch, but again, this is just going to make life easier for you and for me, okay? When you are done, you have to do a screenshot of the entire screen, right? Because the 3 things that I need is I need the score, I need the name of the assignment, which is on the tab. That's why it's got to be full screen. And I need to be able to see your name in the right-hand corner. So do not edit it down. Don't take a partial screenshot because I won't accept it. Okay, so I'm telling you again, this is the rule for the rest of the year. Anything you do in Everfi, do the entire screen. All right, and make sure that I can see those 3 things. So if you just do the entire screen, you should be good. That I can see the score, the name of the assignment, which is up there because we have to make sure you're submitting the right one, and then your name. Okay, what is the minimum score you have to get on an Everfi assignment? You guys remember? Anybody in the chat? What's the minimum score that you need to get? Or you have to redo it? No one remembers? Ah, very good. Yes, yes, Rudy. Yes, Kevin, very good. 70%. So you need to get 70% or better. And remember, you can redo any of these, okay? So it's not like it won't let you redo, but 70% or better. I encourage you to do as good as possible because these go in summative. So this can really help, especially if 3rd quarter was a struggle for you, then you really got to kick it in gear for 4th quarter, right? To make sure that you're getting that overall semester grade, because it's the semester grade that ends up that matters on your transcript, okay? And it's the average, right, of those 2 quarters and your final exam. All right. So we have about 25 minutes left. So I want you to go in and work on banking basics. Okay, so click on that, get as much of that done as you can. And when you're done, making sure that you're getting that entire screenshot. If you need anything, I'm here, I can help you. All right, but use this time. Don't leave, don't go work on other things. Like, get this stuff done. Take care of business so that Tuesday and Friday, you have very little, if anything, you have to do for this class. All right, any questions, let me know. Yes, so I mentioned at the beginning of class, I will have a final exam study guide for you by the end of next week. So I'm going to work on it this next week, and I'll get it to you guys probably by like next Wednesday or Thursday. So by not this weekend, but next weekend, I'll have a final exam packet for you. So that'll give you about 2 weeks to study, and we'll review also in class. We'll probably spend a class period 1 or 2 before the final exam reviewing. No, it's okay. That's okay. Yeah, so give me like a week, and I'll get it to you like definitely before next weekend. Okay. And that way you'll have at least 2 weeks to study. And then we'll, like always, we'll do a little like review, like Kahoots or something like that in class and review some questions. Okay. So you should be working on banking basics, making in Everfi. Remember, we're in financial literacy, and goal is to get that done, or at least a good chunk of that done today. And stuff's because you've got the 4 due on Friday, so a little bit at a time, and that'll make it so that it's really manageable. Let me know if you have any questions. So about 5 more minutes and then we'll start to wrap up class. So please make sure that you are, actually I take that back, about 7 more minutes, but that you are getting this banking basics done. Okay. So I'm giving you time in class, use this time wisely, get it done. If you don't quite finish it, you can keep it open, maybe finish it at lunch, but try to get this done today. Okay. For sure. If not, for sure tomorrow. Okay. But getting this done so that we're on pace. All right. Gonna wrap things up. It's stuff was let me know, how far did you get? Were you able to get some of it done, or anybody able to get all of it done? How far did we get? Some of it done? Okay. Yeah, keep it open and maybe finish it like at lunch today or this evening, or for sure get it done tomorrow. So at least you have that one done. Okay. All right. So use like maybe lunchtime or after school, or for sure tomorrow, and then just get that one done. And then we're going to work on employment and tax on Wednesday. And then we will work on budgeting on Thursday. So you'll have some time in class, and then you'll have to finish up whatever you don't get done in class. So for sure, at least by tomorrow, get the banking basics done. Okay. And then Wednesday we'll work on employment and tax, and then we'll work on budgeting on Thursday. Okay. All right. Yes. So for tomorrow, if you need anything, come see me in the afternoon. I'm available from 1:20 to 2:10. Otherwise, I'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll keep working on these Everfis. Okay. Make sure those screenshots are full screen. All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.